Hi everyone, I am Kelly. Welcome again to the Quilters Challenge for July 2026. This time the challenge is from my friend Deb, and her channel is called Scrappy Quilts with Debbie. So let's see what she has to say.
Hello everyone, it's Deb with Sew with Debee. I've been asked to be part of a Quilters Challenge, so I'd like you to play along too. What is my challenge? My challenge is to do wonky circles. So I want you to put on your thinking cap, pull out your scrap bucket, and see what you can come up with. I also want you to watch and see what others can come up with and what I showed to you. So please follow along with the Quilters Challenge. This is going to be a very exciting thing to be doing. So until next time, sew safely and sew with Debee. Bye for now.
Okay, I have an idea. Now, wonky circles? Well, when I try to make regular circles, they come out wonky anyway, because I can't do them very well. So that part of it, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with. So let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to make myself a bowl cozy. And I'm going to follow my friend Sew Becca's very good instructions with some slight tweaking of how I want to do mine. But I will link Becca's video below. Now, gray grunge. I'll cut 2 pieces. I'm going to make circles with the oranges and applique them onto there. Hopefully that works. Now, I got random batting here. I'm pretty sure this is cotton because I have a bag of cotton. So I already cut out 1 piece of batting. Becca says to use 2. That's what I'm doing. So all I'm doing is putting my 10.5 inch square on here, and I'm just going to cut around it. And then I will have 2 10.5 inch squares of batting, and I'm going to cut 2 10.5 inch squares from this for either side, and however many of these little round oranges I feel like. I now have 2 squares of gray grunge that are 10.5 inches. There is a possibility after I do the applique that they shrink up a teeny bit. If so, I will just trim down the batting a little bit to make everything the same size. I have a couple of these plastic templates from when I was doing scrapbooking a while back, so I'm going to draw circles with these. I think this one might be too big. That is, it's about almost, yeah, about 3.5 inches. I think that's too big. If I had bigger foundation fabric, I guess you could call it, I would do that one. So I think I'll use this one instead, the inside, because that is not quite 3 inches. Call it 2 3/4. So if I put them on there, because I'll get 2. So let's go on the edge, actually. I don't want to waste all the fabric. We'll go down here on the end. Can we still see that good enough? Yep. Okay. So let's do... Whoop, wrong one. This one. Let's take a pen. Go around there. Down here. Okay, that'll give me 6. Let's do one more just to be sure. I actually want to do applique on both sides of that, so 1 more for good luck. If I don't use it, I don't use it. Okay. I'm trying to bring you a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. I just took my scissors and cut the edge off, so there's not quite as much fabric, and I'm just pinning these layers carefully together. Because I am going to cut them out 2 at a time. As carefully as I can, obviously, but I know myself. And in spite of my best intentions, they will be wonky no what. So maybe, in the spirit of things, I might try to make them wonkier on purpose. Deb just said wonky, so we'll see what happens. Okay, 1 more here. And I'll just pin the other one and come back. Okay, I'll try and go as close as I can here and show you one. Can you see the round marking? I'm going to take my pinking shears. And first of all, I'm just going to roughly cut across there. But I want to make sure I'm about 1/4 inch away from that drawn line, and the same on the other one. Doesn't have to be super particular, but that's what I'm aiming at. Okay, there we have one. Okay, so leave approximately a 1/4 inch from that drawn line and just go around and cut it out. We'll cut out both of them actually because they're pinned together. Just like so. Yeah, I know it's not perfectly the same all the way around. I'm just doing the best I can. Pinking shears are not the easiest to cut with. Just go kind of slowly. Turn the circle in your hand till you got something like this. This is going to cut up and go in the cat bed. 2 circles, kinda. While I have those 2 together I just cut out, I just thought I might as well go around again on the one that didn't have the line and just make a line. Whoops. As it goes and moves. Yeah, that's okay. More carefully, Kelly, would help. There we go. It gives me a guideline of what I want to do. There, that's good enough. What I hope to do is kind of fold under down to that line and then applique on. The pinking cutting will help, but I'm actually going to take my scissors and just make little snips close to that line but not past it. It'll help the bending around. Something like this. You get the idea. I have decided to use 3 circles on each piece, and I've laid them out not too close to the edge because you have to sew the 2 pieces together and turn them through, so you don't want it right out here. And when you make the bowl part, you have to put darts on the sides, so I also didn't want them too much in the middle to have to make a dart across the applique. So that's why I put them like this. And this piece that has the circles drawn on, I'm just going to put the iron on it because that's a heat erase pen. And then I'll put that in my scrap pile. I'm filming this on my phone, so hopefully you can see this close enough. I'm going to take each circle and tuck under down to where my marked line is. And just sort of do that. If I need to, I can use my little stiletto and kind of hold it down. I'm just sort of like rubbing it with my finger a little bit. I will press it as I go too, but this is also heat erase pen, so I want to have it kind of good on my line before I bring the iron or my line's going to be gone. So just sort of like this. I don't know if that works better or not. Yeah, I think my finger works better actually. Okay, I did a fold. Can you see that okay? That's what I'm aiming for. Fold all around. So let's hold that down and just kind of tuck a bit as we go. Rub it with your finger. Tuck a little bit there. Rub it with your finger. You get the idea. Ah, come on, right there. This is why it's tricky to do circles. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to press one tiny bit at a time, and if the line goes away, so be it. All right, let's try that. Let's just do that and just press that right there. That's better. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Turn that a little bit that way. There. Turn this part underneath here, like that, and like that. There, that works better. I'll turn it on like this. As I'm going around, I'm gluing them down. That seems to be working better, so just kind of stick a little glue there. It's washable. So sort of tuck under, hold, and kind of squish it, and it sticks to the glue. A little shot with the iron. This just has to hold until I can sew it in place. And this seems to be slightly better. So, put that there. Yeah, that works better. Okay, well, I think that I have accomplished wonky successfully. I'm going to sew these down all around with orange thread. And then we'll go on to the next step. And obviously, I have to do those ones too. I'm sewing around carefully on the edges of these circles with some orange thread just to get them appliqued down, a couple of stitches at a time, carefully. The next step is to get your squares of fabric quilted to your squares of batting. So if you don't do applique and you just have a piece of fabric that's a square, you just go ahead with this part now. So take your batting, wrong side of project, onto there, like so. Line it up best you can, smooth it all down, like so. Same thing on this one, like so. How you do the quilting does not matter. Becca did a quilting line in an X. I'm probably going to do that. Yes, it will go through my oranges. Do I care? No. We'll see when I get to the machine. Maybe I'll go around here. Maybe I'll just be lazy and go, nope, I'm just going to X it. You'll find out in a minute when I decide. I have 40 weight dark gray thread in my machine. I have put the quilting foot on it, and I'm switching the needle, or I have switched the needle to a size 90. I like to quilt with that, it just goes through the layers better. I am just quilting a straight line across. I'm aiming for this corner. I didn't draw a line. You can draw lines for your quilting if you wish. I'm just kind of winging it. In order to make the bowl part, we have to have darts. So, fold in half, straight as you can, this way. Like so. Now down here on the fold, this is where we're going to make the marks. I'm following Becca's instructions for this, although my squares are slightly bigger than hers. I don't think it really matters. So, what she's doing is, she is making a mark. I have my ruler lined up. Straighten that out a bit. 2 inches this way. My 2 line is on here. Okay? And 1 inch up. So 2 this way across the fold, 1 inch up from the fold. Hope you guys can see that. But my 2 line is here. 2 this way, 1 this way. And we make a little mark there, and a little mark there. As long as you can see it, use a pencil, whatever, it doesn't matter. Then, line the ruler up, and draw between it. Like so. 2 up, right? Sorry, 2 this way, 1 up. And same thing other side. So, this time I'm going to go this way with the ruler. Can you guys see that okay? I'm trying to get it closer. Okay. I got my ruler turned around just so I can measure better. So, 2 this way, 1 this way. Mark, mark. Draw the line. There. Okay, so we're folded up. I have a line drawn this way, and I have a line drawn this way. Now we sew along those lines. Alright, I did the lines of sewing. I think the visual is better there. See what I mean? Like so. Now if you open it up, it already kind of looks like a bowl, beginning of. But now we need to do the darts the other way. So, take what you have here and fold it again so that your darts are touching. Have one go one way, one go the other way. They kind of cuddle together a little bit. It's a little bit harder to do the markings because now you sort of have a curvy thing going on, but here, let me scoot this over here. You do it pretty much the same way. It's still like 90 degrees here, so it's not that bad. So, flatten yourself out really good. Do your marks again. I'm kind of holding this down as I get the ruler in position. So, there's 2. Here, let me scoot the camera back just a bit. There's 2 that way and 1 up. So, mark and mark. And draw a line. Helps if I talk without a pen lid in my mouth, right? Okay, now, same thing, other way. Let me turn this around a little bit. Exactly the same as before. Two inches from the edge this way, 1 inch up. Mark, mark, draw the line. Now sew these ones together. That's what one looks like so far. Exactly the same has to happen with this one. Fold it up, draw your lines, make your darts exactly the same way we just did. Now, before we put them together, it's helpful to reduce the bulk. So you see where I have my sewn line? You can just take your scissors, give yourself about 1/4 inch, and just cut off the extra, because you don't need that. It'll just kind of get in the way. It doesn't have to be exactly, but just get rid of some of that extra that's really not all that necessary. Just do that on all of them, just to make it tidier. Last one. There. That's better. The walking foot is helpful for this too, because of the layers of bulk you have. It just goes through better without getting bogged down. Back a little bit. Sew across. Speed that up slightly. There we go. Follow your line. Back a little bit. Cut off the threads. I'll do those in a minute. Go over and do this one. If you're watching me, please consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up and those other YouTube-y things. If you don't mind, it helps me out tremendously. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I think that would be pretty cool. Okay. There's 2 done. Cut this off, and I will do the other 2 off camera because you don't need to see all of it. That's boring. Now we have 2 things that look exactly the same. They have to be sewn together. So, turn one of them. Doesn't matter which one, just turn one of them. Because what you have to do is have your fabric sides touching. So, leave this one fabric side showing. Take this one fabric side down and put it inside. Now I'm going to grab my clips. You can use clips, you can use pins, it doesn't matter. Match up your darts. as best you can, right along the edge, and clip it. And then line up your corner. Just try to get everything as straight as you can, like so, and clip it. And then go around to this dart, line them up again nice and tight, and clip it. If you want to use pins instead, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's pretty secure. And do the corner. Oh, my apologies for bumping. Just continue around till you have enough pins or clips. There we go. All secure. Pick a side, doesn't matter what side, where you're not going to sew the whole way down. So I'll just go from here where these purple ones are. Start at the corner. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam. You can do 3/8 or whatever, it doesn't matter, to make sure you're straight. Go down part way and then back tack. So I'm going to put myself a mark right there. And then let's see. If I put my hand there so I can turn it, the mark should go about there on the other side. So let's just put that pen mark like that. So start on the corner, sew down to your mark, back tack, slide your project ahead, start on the next line, back tack, go down. You can pivot at the corner, you can sew off and then restart, it doesn't matter. So sew down, pivot, whatever you're going to do, sew all the way along the other side, all the way back around till it's sewn together. Okay, I'm going to try and bring you in close enough here. So let's undo that clip. Make sure we're lined up good. Okay. I'm sort of using the edge of my walking foot. It's somewhere between 1/4 and 3/8, but I can use that to line up. It doesn't matter really. Needle down. Go back a smidge. Okay, sew along. Straight until we get to the mark. One more, two more. Back tack. Needle up. I'm going to cut my threads just so they're not in the way. Trim them later. Okay, scoot forward to the next mark. This is going to be a little difficult here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop this for a second and pin where that clip is because I can't get my walking foot past the clip. Hold on a moment. Okay, got a pin instead. That should be better. Scoot back over here, lift that up. Yeah, there we go. That back carriage area of the walking foot. This thing, that gets in the way of the clip. It doesn't matter really. A pin works fine too. Down we go. Go back one. And go down here. We're going to have to move the clip. Keep yourself together. Get my stiletto in here. That looks like it might be pretty good. Pivot. Perfect. Off we go. Keep on sewing all the way around. After you have it all sewn together with your opening, just trim off the corners. It'll be less bulky when you have to turn it through, which we'll do in a second. Just kind of go like so. Don't cut your stitching off, obviously, but go down close to it. Just get rid of that. Makes life easier to turn it through. Like so. Now you just have to turn it through. Put your hand in, grab the other side, and kind of wiggle it through. Turn this way, turn that one that way. Just kind of poke it out. I'm going to grab a chopstick. You could use the edge of a pen, whatever. Just kind of run your finger along there. Stick the chopstick in. However you want to do it. Just kind of go along and try to get the corners out just so it looks kind of pointy. like that. It's hard with batting, I know, because it's bulky, but you can kind of do it. That's not that bad, right? I usually get my middle finger. I don't have a very good fingernail on it at the moment, but I shove it in there and I hold this end, and then I take my middle finger and I run that nail down the seam. Just to make that flat. That usually helps too. You could take the flat end of a crochet hook, maybe. A butter knife even would probably work. Whatever. Just give it more of a poking out. Go along here. Poke this one out. Come on. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. It happens. You get the idea. Just work it slowly until you have it poked out as best you can. Oh, there we go. That's better. Once you have it poked out, just kind of push them down into each other so it looks like a bowl. Now this part has to be sewn together. What you have to do next is top stitch all around, and that's how that will work. What I'm going to do off camera is just fold down each end and press so that it's kind of flat. So I'll do that one first, and then I'll flip it around, and then I'll fold this one down so that they meet as much as possible. I'm probably going to clip the heck out of it and then just sew it very slowly and carefully and do the top stitch there first before I go all the way around the outside. Okay, I got it all done. Double-sided. Doesn't matter which side you use. Gets anything on it, put it in the wash. Ta-da! Wonky circles. Thanks, Deb.